What is up, guys? It's Kyle with Never Hedge, and I'm hanging out here at the clubhouse at the Royal St. George's Golf Club here in England. We're here for the Open Championship, better known as the British Open, and it's going to be a great week. I can't wait. The winds are going to be howling. The course is going to play difficult. It's link-style golf. It is the oldest golf tournament in the world. One of the most prestigious. It was founded in 1860, and it was originally held in Prestwick Golf Club in Scotland before evolving to being rotated between a select group of coastal links golf courses in the United Kingdom. This is the fourth and final major, and we're excited. So let's go over to the first hole. So it's classic link style, wide open. Not going to see a tree. Zoom in. And it's wide open, just like any links course. Not going to be much to see here. They do have the pot bunkers. That gets everyone in trouble. Going to have firm greens. And more than anything, we're going to have the winds. The wind is going to be the biggest factor this week. And depending on your tee time, it really is going to matter this week when you have your tee time. Because weather plays a huge factor in these tournaments. And I'm on the Royal St. George Golf Club website at members.royalstgeorge.com. And here's a little bit about their course. Royal St. George is one of the world's great courses, having hosted Opens, PGA, and Amateur Championships, and Walker and Curtis Cups. It has been witness to more golfing history than any other in England. It was also the setting in the guise of Royal St. Mark's of golf's most famous fictional match, the contest between James Bond and Goldfinger. Designed by William Laidlaw Purves in 1887, it has constantly evolved to pose a tough test for championship and more modest players alike. In common with many links, it is characterized by humps and swales, dunes and wild rough, fast-running fairways, and deep bunkers. Demanding carries put a premium on strong driving, but even with such uncompromising terrain, properly flighted and directed shots will always find their target and leave a clear line to the green. The course guide describes the holes, their history, and the best way to play them. So we'll go over that hole by hole. We'll start at hole 1, which we're already at. So if I can correct my mouse. All right. So hole 1 is a par 4, 442 yards, stroke index 10. Difficult opener requiring a well-struck drive over a valley known as the Kitchen. You can see the Kitchen right here. A carry over 250 yards from the championship tee, favoring the flatter left side of the fairway. The wide green sloping away from the players with the bunker stretching across its front can only be held with a high spinning second shot. Those playing safe, Goldfinger among them, often aim for the gully to the right. So, hard hole to start. The fairways are going to be fast. The wind is going to be howling. Hole 2, and it's classic links. All the front 9 go in the same direction. Go over to the second hole. And the second hole is a par 4. It's 426 yards. There's going to be bunkers at the corners of the right to left dogleg draw in any shot within a few yards of them. They can be carried by strong players, but the ball usually finishes further left than one thinks. And even playing well to the right to avoid the sand should leave just a short iron to a raised green. So you're just going to want to avoid the bunkers here. Any approach drifting left or right or falling short will run into hollows and leaves a tricky pitch back. Play for the front of the green to leave an uphill putt. There can be a sharp break on anything from above the hole. So the green is going to be tricky. Getting there, it's going to be short. Most players will be able to do it. I think this will be a scoring hole, really. Go to the third hole. And here we have a par 3. Third hole is a par 3, 239 yards, so decently far. You got to avoid all this shit. Originally played as a blind hole over the hill to the right of the present green, this was lengthened by 30 yards for the 2011 Open. Mounds cradle the green and will often direct balls from the right back onto a two-tiered putting surface. Putts from the upper level to a pin at the bottom require great touch and judgment of line. Statistically, is one of the most difficult open holes, despite being the only par 3 on any Open Champion course without a bunker. So yeah, there are no bunkers here, but lots of hills, lots of things to still avoid. Placement on the green is going to be premium here. Go over to the fourth hole. Fourth hole, we have a par 4, 496 yards. One of the great championship holes. The fourth is an intimidating prospect, a towering bunker, perhaps the tallest in Britain, and with a long back faces the driver and attempts to skirt it by aiming left, often run further left into trouble. Once the fairway has been found, approaches that can range from pitches to a full 3-wood have to contend with a green cut at an angle. Shots run in from the left and balls right of center will fall on the other side. Accurate clubbing is required. Link style golf. I have never played this before. It looks interesting. I mean, I know there's a lot of shit. The rough's going to be thick. But no trees. This might be my style golf, baby. Let's go to the fifth. For the fifth hole, we have a par 4, 416 yards. The first sight of the sea, which you can see here. Pretty cool. 3 bunkers guard the left. Boom, boom, boom. Which is divided by a band of dune-flanked rough dotted with more sand right there. Originally the 6th tee, a small plateau known as Campbell's Table, after a perfect drive into a gale by the American Walker Cup Bill Campbell in the 1967 match, is the target, leaving a clear line to the green. Boom, boom. The second shot can range from a short iron to a wood over or between the dunes to a long bunkerless green that slopes from the right. Although the furthest mound is 320 yards from the tee, many open competitors take on the carry. But thanks to recent created muggles down the right-hand side of the second part of the fairway, more birdies are made by those playing short. Okay. Scoring hole. That's what I'm hearing. Move on to the 6th. We're going to have another par 3. 176 yards. Pretty short. Doesn't look too intimidating from here. Let's read what they had to say. The maiden named after the shape of the towering dunes surrounding it, the long 2-tiered green set at an angle to the tree, can be tricky. If a shot finds the wrong level, bunkers surrounding the putting surface await anything pulled, pushed, or underclubbed. Looks pretty straight away to me. Go to the 7th. And this is your par 5. It's pretty long. It's par 5, 573 yards. The first of only 2 par 5s. The crest of the hill, which hides the fairway from view, is almost 280 yards away from the back tee. Holy shit. Not that these guys can't carry that these days, but Jesus Christ. Give us a break. The hole turns slightly left for the second shot that can offer rich rewards. Almost all the eagles achieved during Open Championship at Sandwich are made here. So even though that first shot is long, this is going to be a real big scoring hole. We'll see some eagles. Maybe we'll bet on some eagles here. Jordan Spieth, eagle. Go to the 8th. And the 8th hole is another par 4. 57 yards. It was once a par 3. This is now a tough test requiring an accurate uphill drive. 2 bunkers collect anything center right, but the best line is left for a clear downhill second over 80 yards of rough to a long, deceptively contoured green, nestling in sand hills. One of the fastest on the course, it is bisected by a ridge and bunkers eat into its front corners. This is always the most difficult open hole. Wow. All right. Let's take a look and see if we can see why this is so difficult. Google Earth is cool, but you can't always tell the hills from here. Like, we really can't. I'll take their word for it. Ninth hole, finishing up the front nine. Headed back. Par 4, 410, so it's a relatively short hole, but with a demanding second shot to a distinctive green. Let's take a look. There's your distinctive green, guarded by all these bunkers. Approaches will run in from the right, but can be carried away by a drop-off, and anything left is likely to end up in one of the two deep bunkers. And that's going to be the difference here, is these bunkers are not typical. They're going to be way deeper than normal. Guys are going to have trouble this week. Let's go to the back. 10th hole. Start off with another short par 4. It's 412 yards. Falling away sharply on all sides, the elevated green sits on the horizon, making second shots difficult to judge. Drive should favor the left side of the fairway, which is protected by one single bunker. Oh, right there. The drop-off behind the green is especially severe, and a second shot that is not kept right of center is likely to run into one of the two deep and greedy bunkers. Right there. There are often more sixes or worse here. So this is going to be a tough hole to start the back. Go on to the 11th. It's a par 3, 242 yards. The green of what was originally played from behind the 10th as a par 4 looks inviting, but shots have to be precisely targeted with length at a premium. The right to left slope is likely to feed anything a little short right into the sand. A little too much in a gully with a sticky bank beyond awaiting in the back. Jesus. Doesn't sound too fun. And you could actually see that bank. I could see it from up there. Whoa. Right there. Doesn't look good. 12th hole. In the 12th hole, look at all these bunkers. Holy shit. What are they trying to do? David Hasselhoff would love this hole. Par 4, 379 yards. So it's short. It's the shortest par 4 on the course. But it's certainly not the easiest. And so they torture you, really. They give you a short par 4, but they give you all these pot bunkers. We're going to see low scores this week. I'm thinking we're going to finish like -7, -8, maybe even higher because of this wind that we're expecting. The 13th. 13th is a par 4, 457 yards. The finishing hole at Sandwich are some of the hardest anywhere, and they begin with this long par 4. 4 bunkers at driving length can be avoided by straight or drawn tee shots on the line of the right edge of the Prince's Lot. So these right here is what they're talking about. But next shot, there are 3 more bunkers that you have to worry about, especially if you got caught up in these. Getting out, you could go bunker to bunker pretty easy here in any of these. Bunker, bunker, bunker. Wonder if we'll ever see anyone do that. Stranger things have happened. Go to the 14th. It's a par 5. 545-yard par 5. Pretty long. The wind plays a large part here. The hole can require anything from a rescue club off the tee and a mid-iron to 3 full woods. Safe drives favor the left of the wide, flat fairway, and second shots should skirt the narrow strip between out of bounds and 2 centrally placed bunkers, or face an approach from the left over bunkers to a 2-tier turbulent green running towards a stream just feet beyond the falling away the back. Jeez. They're not joking. And here's the stream. Let's head on to the 15th. So this back is definitely harder than the front. 100%. Look at all these bunkers again. Drivable. If you get caught in these, get caught in that. You can hit a nice tee shot. You can end up in here. It's just, it's a tough style of golf, this links. And certain guys are good, like Terrell Hatton. He's a freaking killer. So this is a par 4, 493 yards. Classic hole from the back tees, the longest par 4 on the course. Even a big drive between 5 bunkers leaves a challenging carry. That's what I was just pointing out. I mean, this is a pretty tough hole. I think you'll be lucky to par this one. Let's go on to the 16th. Par 3. Got a short par 3. 161 yards. Thomas Bjorn, hope of lifting the claret jug in 2003, evaporated when he took 3 to get out of the sand on the right, a magnet even for balls landing several feet from the fringe. It was also here in the 1967 Dunlop Masters that Tony Jacklin made the first televised hole-in-one. The bunker-ringed green, which slopes down from the back, is wide and 3 clubs deep, and is easy to leave a 50-foot putt. Jesus. 17th. We have a par 4, 424 yards. Although it is littered with swales and humps, a flat draw follow the line of the Dodge fairway will produce good results. So this is looking like a little relief. You just got through all that, you get an easier hole. It's not crazy bunkered like all these other ones. We should see some scoring here. Not a long par 4 either. That takes us to the last hole, the 18th, headed back towards the clubhouse. It's a par 4, 456 yards. Extensively remodeling has made perhaps the toughest finishing hole on the open Rhoda even harder. The fairway has been moved a few yards to flatter ground on the right, but a deep greenside bunker comes into play for shots from that side, and 2 new bunkers lie in wait for drives seeking to leave the better line in the front left. The green was originally just beyond the cross bunkers that have to be carried with second shots, but was moved back a full 120 yards in 1908. Fronted by shallow ridge, it slopes from the right and sweeps anything left of center into a dip from George Duncan marred a great final round to miss the chance of tying for the 1922 Open. 63 years later, Sandy Lyle failed to make it up the hill from Duncan's Hollow, but got down in 2 more to clinch the championship. So, used to be an easier hole. Now it's a harder hole. It still doesn't look to me to be one of the harder holes out here. I think we will be able to see some birdies to maybe push some things, maybe win the championship on the 18th. It'd be awesome. And it's major week, baby. Let's go. Let's win some money. We'll have some bets. We'll have some DraftKings plays for you. We'll be filming that later today. I hope you guys enjoyed this as always. Google Earth is fucking sick. All right, guys, like and subscribe.